Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our day related to the root chakra. Nothing is better to start the root chakra having the full moon in Scorpio. So going to the depth of what is the intensity of the death that is hidden. So I've been, due to these tasks for these days, I've been painting the whole day, enjoying, and so I'm a bit dizzy because I was painting the whole day, sitting there concentrated, and suddenly I just sit here. So I'm a bit like, woo, what am I? What do I have to say? What I have behind me is really a mess. It's really a mess what I have here. So you cannot see it, but I hope you don't see it because it's really chaotic. So let's begin. In one hand, I am a little bit like this because I am my head is in another thing, and I thought that the topic for today would be easier, and it's complicated, and I have no idea where to begin to explain this. So let's see what I can do. So the topic today is growth. Okay, so let's go to English. The etymology of the word, the topic for today is to grow, is growth. So what is the origin of growth? Grow comes from the concept, the Indo-European language, which is gre. And gre means to cultivate veggies. Okay, to cultivate veggies. That's why from the word grow, we also have the words green and grass, because the word grow is related to making something grow, to cultivate something. So it is a word that was related to agriculture, to put a seed, to make a plant grow. So we could see how this tiny seed starts to grow up with leaves and branches, and then flowers, and then they create fruits, and the fruits creates new seeds. So the process of growing was related to cultivate vegetables. Okay, so related to agriculture, this concept made us believe that growth is the idea of create too, which in Spanish, the word grow is crecer, that comes from the European language quer, that gives us to create to create something, and also to breed. So you grow plants, cultivating plants, and you also breed animals. So breed animals and cultivating plants would be like this concept of making things grow, because they see how from a tiny seed or two animals we create new ones and they expand. So the process of growing is related to agriculture. Okay. So taking in account this word, the meaning of growing, let's see what is the meaning of growing in this path. So now, going to the origin of the things, we can have here that we have here a circle, a dot, the origin, a sphere, that starts to expand towards the outside. That's the only thing that exists, and it starts to expand towards the outside. So here we have the same circle, but expanded out. But what happened? That the information is the same. Even if you expand it, the data is exactly the same. So by inspiration and exhalation, this expansion will start to generate energy. So this will start to make that the inspiration is in negative and the exhalation is in positive, inside and outside. What they will start to do is to expand one outside the other, and it will start to create a new one from this center. So what allows this? That suddenly only one thing is able to see to the perspectives of one reality. So this system will start to replay into a new system, into another one, and so on. So from that starts to appear many other from this same reality. So what are they gonna do? They start to look for energy and share energy from the outside. So what this being is doing here is to create many options of sharing energy and absorbing energy, which basically is what we spoke yesterday, related to the exchange of information. What the system starts to do is to exchange information from one another. So once the flow of energy starts to get much more perfect, they reach perfection in the way of exchange this energy. Some of these cells, they stop doing the job that they did before, which was trying to reach information time, trying to reach energy to survive and to exchange, because they start to know that there are many others in charge of. So many other cells are in charge of looking for the energy. So what they start to do is to say, hey, let's do something different, because I don't have to worry about looking for energy. Other ones are doing that. So that's why now I can take other paths. So some of these cells will start to develop the sight, other ones the smell, other ones the hearing, other ones the taste. So each cell starts to be programmed to develop one of the senses to receive the information, but in different ways. So if these cells can receive information and reproduce from other normal cells, this organism starts to become complex, and it gives them time in order to produce much more cells, making every one of the organisms much more specified and concrete, much more complex. Going to the beginning, the cell that is all the thing like an atom, molecule, chemical composed, they start to look for energy. They are looking for energy all the time. They are harvesting energy from the system. So what they start to do is to get much more complex, to evolve, to grow, to develop in evolution. So they get much more perfect every day. So by this exchange, they create then the DNA, the cells. So they keep exchanging this data, this information. And what they are doing is to harvest energy. So that would be to grow, like in the fields. To grow plants, to grow animals is the same, but with energy. So they start to grow things to eat, and this is why they start to reproduce and reproduce to do it better. And because of this, they grow as an organism. So basically, what we call to grow is only one being that starts to divide itself by thousands and in many directions, creating a complex organism. But it's only one dividing itself by millions. So growth is basically one cell dividing in thousands of cells, because they harvest energy from the environment, and that energy allows them to multiply by millions in a process that we yesterday called to reproduce. So that would be the physical growth. That would be the physical. But what happened? That we also have what we call the spiritual growth, the cognitive growth, the being's development. So where can we connect the idea of the spiritual growth or the inner growth if we are just speaking here from the point of view of the physical? So first of all, let's remember this: the spirit, the spiritual world, the energetical world, and the physical world are not separate things. The three of them are projections from one another. They are only one thing. So we can say that this is the reality, that it is not separated, that this is a projection. I explained many times before, remember, this is like water. We can see it in a gas, in a liquid, and in a solid state. But it's all water. Okay? It's not separated. It's water. And this, we can say this, that the being is equals water. So we can say then that this being, like the water, has three states: the mental, the emotional, and the physical, the spiritual, the soul, and the body. So let's do this in the same way. So let's look at it in this way. That if I have here one cell, I will project myself into millions of other cells. So we can say that here we find universal principles, laws, then we have here chakras, and then we have here organs. So remember that everything in the universe is connected. It's only one thing. The only thing that makes us appear that this is different is the vibration. So we can understand here that a cell is a physical expansion from a spiritual consciousness. So remember that one cell, one spiritual cell, is projected towards us. So the information that that cell has is still here within us. The answer of the spiritual world is within, because the information is in the cells. The spiritual world is not in a magical reality outside. It's not out of the body. It's within the body. So this cell that has the spirit, the information, is within us. And then we are a cell within another body, which is the planet Earth. And then the Earth is a cell inside the body, which is the galaxy, the galaxy, and so on. So this means that even if we go farther into the realities of other dimensions in the cosmos, anyway, we will relate that divinity to the first spirit that created matter, us. So we can understand here that the spiritual growth or the cognitive growth is not outside in another dimension. It is within, in our own system. So every cell in our body is designed in order to share data, information, to help the spirit to develop as we are now. So the spiritual growth is basically to be able to develop all our potentials from within in our 3 states, here and now. So this means that our spiritual growth and our cognitive growth is related to the cells that we call neurons, the ones that developed the philosophy, the thinking, the ideas, and these cells don't die unless they get sick, but usually they don't die as all the others do. So this would mean that our growth in a physical way starts to develop itself in a way that every cell is trying to reach as much energy as possible to keep us alive, in the same time that the neurons are trying to do the same by improving our way of understanding the world, the intelligence, doing synapses, and creating links to have consciousness. So at the same time as all the cells in our bodies are trying to reach energy, looking for energy, keep us alive, and growing, creating organs. In the other hand, we have neurons doing exactly the same, but not reaching energy, but they are looking for information. So they develop the 5 senses in order to reach all the data from the outside to create a network that is growing constantly in our brain to solve conflicts, to solve ideas, to change point of view, to expand our way of thinking. So this takes us to understand that when a living being starts to develop neurons to interpret the environment, this means that the spirit that is expanding in the universe is starting to understand itself, to be able to think about the process that is going through. So it's here when we start to understand that it's not in the way that the quantum physics understands the reality in which they say is the aware of the observer that modifies the reality outside. And we position ourselves like this observer is not that. It's not us who modify that reality. Is the only one observer, which is the consciousness of the universe, is the only one observer, the first one, the only one possible existent that has divided and growth so much that created a lot of neurotransmitters that are able to observe, like many eyes. So we, each one of the beings that can think, we are neurons inside the brain of the only one being that is thinking, that we call the universe. In this way, we can understand that the universe is constantly growing in the physical way and, of course, in the cognitive way. So in order to create a cognitive growth, the universe, many observers creating synapses, connecting to one another, developing a network of thoughts. So this explains that the universe is growing through us, that we, in our process of cognitive growth, understanding the world, we are filling the universe with data and information, creating much more intelligence. Making the universe much more intelligent. So we humans are not the first species that is intelligent. So it's not that we create that thing. It's that we all are part of that mind of the universe. The universe is the first intelligent being. And I want to explain a bit what intelligent means. First thing to understand, an intelligent being doesn't have all the answers. An intelligent being doesn't have wisdom. An intelligent beings know. So an intelligent being, intelligence comes from intellegere. Intellegere means to know how to read between lines. So something that is intelligent is the one or the being that is able to connect the dots in order to create a new information. That's intelligence. So that's why the universe is intelligent, because the universe is connecting dots in order to create new data. And we are those dots of data. This is why wisdom is not related with intelligence. So this is why the universe is not a being that has wisdom, is a being that is intelligent, that has developed a way in which it can connect all the data to create more answers and more options. So what this means, that if the universe is intelligent, it means that it doesn't have a plan. It doesn't have a planification. This is something that we already spoke long time ago, in other months. The universe doesn't have a specific plan. The universe is creating a plan according to what it lives and understands about itself. So remember that the universe, in order to be able to connect and grow and create much more data, it needs to divide to create different options, because the universe is only one option. Universe is only one that comes back to itself. So the universe needs to be diverse. Universe is one, diverse is two. It divides in two to have two options. Okay, perfect. This is why the growth of the universe, the intelligent expansion of the universe, is created through diversion, the diversification of things. And this is exactly the same that we, the living beings, develop as intellect. So humans, we do that since before we are born, the process of cognitive diversification, and we call that to play. To play, to have fun. To play and have fun are two ways in which we, as mammals and other animals, do to creates a faster development of our neurological system. When we have the time to play, to enjoy, to have fun in life, we start to create much more synapses to know how to handle the environment through imagination, to know how to use the reality. So we can say here, God is not playing with, how to say these things? It's not playing, I don't know the name in English. How do you say that? Don't know the name. Dice? That's how it says? No. Dice, thank you. Yes, thank you. So God is not playing dice. But actually is playing. So we can understand that the universe actually is not playing exactly dice, of course, with the reality. But the universe is not creating through a plan, neither. Because the universe is growing, so it's not creating, it's growing, it's increasing its ability to think, to know. So the rules, the laws of the universe starts to be created through the growth, through expansion. So this is why, in order to remember and connect with our divinity, we have to play, to enjoy. I try to make a summary as much as I could, because I'm really thinking in other things. So I'm a little bit, how do you say, like around. My mind is flipping, going in many places. It's all good. It's nothing really bad. It's just that I was My mind was in another data information, and so okay. Let's go to the information for today. The vibration for today is Ho. The statement for today is I am the designer of matter. The code for today is Asia. The biggest continent of all is related to the solar plexus of the world, from part of Indonesia, Indochina, and followed by China and Siberia, limiting west with Europe in the Ural Mountains and Anatolia between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. The Asiatic continent is the land of the development of the being, where the first races developed the first cultures, wisdoms, and where the exchanges between tribes started, generating the first idea of societies and bonds between them. Let's go to the alignment. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate in your breathing. I become aware of the space that surrounds me, the body that I inhabit, and my own breathings. And under my feet, I visualize a divine spark, the light of my body. I ignite it. I ascend this divine spark to my feet. I recognize in my feet the sacred lakes that gives birth to the two lakes, white and blue, going up through my knee, through my legs. And then I set the intention to grow, manifesting my path. I breathe and ignite my feet. I ascend this divine spark to my knees through the two rivers. I recognize that here, the path of the feminine and the masculine get together, unifying the history in me, here and now. And I set the intention in them to grow in order to manifest my heritage here and now. I breathe and ignite my knees. I rise up this divine spark to my root chakra, to the lake of vitality. I visualize this lake that initiates the vital force of my Kundalini, origin of the initiatic path of the now within me. And I set the intention to grow in order to manifest a new world, a new life. I breathe and ignite my genitals. I ascend this divine spark to the creative center in the sacrum. And I recognize here the temple of the Mother, the womb of creation, in between the lights and the shadows. I ignite my creative energy. And I set the intention to grow in order to manifest my creations. I breathe and ignite the sacrum. I rise up this divine spark to my solar plexus. I recognize in it the temple of the body and the attributes of who I am. I set the intention to grow so I can manifest my attributes and potentials. I breathe and ignite my plexus. I ascend this divine spark to my heart. I recognize the temples of life and love irradiating to the world. And I set the intention to grow in order to manifest my feelings and service to the world. I breathe and ignite my heart. I ascend this divine spark to my throat chakra. I recognize in it the temple of the sun, irradiating its rays of truth. I set the intention to grow in order to manifest my truth in the world. I breathe and ignite my throat. I rise up this divine spark to my third eye. And I observe in front of me the eyes of the Sphinx contemplating me. I set the intention to grow in order to manifest my ideas to the world. I breathe and ignite my third eye. I send this divine spark to my crown. And I see the end of the Nile within me, expanding in a beautiful delta, shining, surrounded by all the pyramids in the shape of a crown. And I set the intention to grow in order to manifest my divinity here and now. I breathe and ignite my crown. And I recognize that this initiatic path brings me to the memory of my childhood, growing up, playing, enjoying life in order to expand in the world. I recognize that this mind of a child is the one that creates the world. I am the designer of the world. I am the designer of matter. I am the designer of matter. I am the designer of matter. I am. I am. I am. Breathe and begin to bring this consciousness all through the body, stretching, massaging, and each one at its own time. Come back here and now. Thank you everybody for being here another day, and see you tomorrow, same time.